Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Jeanelle Slade.
And I'm Jay Cohn. 3 Billings police officers face discipline after admitting sexual relations on city property.
All 3 men, patrol officers, have not been identified. Attorneys now determining if the city is obligated or has the freedom to publicly name them.
3 months after a Billings city employee admitted to stealing drug evidence from the police department, 3 Billings officers are now suspended for having sex with that woman on city property. Our partners at Last Best News confirmed the reports today with Police Chief Rich St. John.
St. John calls the officer's decision to have sex with Roland Strizich a, quote, really bad decision. Strizich was fired at the beginning of the year after admitting she stole hundreds of pills from evidence. St. John did not identify the 3 officers, but said 2 had sex with the woman while on duty, and all 3 incidents took place on city property. The chief said 1 encounter happened in a police car, the 2 others in the basement of City Hall.
The officers face either 1 or 2 week suspensions without pay, but their commanders will get to determine when they'll serve those suspensions. City attorneys plan to decide by Thursday of this week whether to release the names of the officers. In Wyoming, the Park County School District, now just the 2nd school district in the Cowboy State, to allow its teachers to carry guns in class.
On a vote of 4-2 last night, the Park County School Board gave its final approval to the new policy. It sets specific guidelines and training requirements before teacher volunteers can carry a gun. Now, last year, the Wyoming legislature passed a new law that gives local school boards the power to decide whether or not they want to allow teachers to carry concealed weapons.
Under that new policy, teachers would have to volunteer, already be in possession of a Wyoming concealed carry permit, and would need to complete 18 hours of training. School Board Chair Kelly Simone tells Q2 the board did a great job in vetting the new policy, but says it'll take some time before they'll know just how many teachers will choose to go through this process.
I think we're going to wait and see, who applies, how many apply, and we're going to have to proceed cautiously from there. It's the new idea in our district as far as implementing this. So I think we're going to proceed with caution and diligence, but we haven't set a quota.
As for community opinion, a recent poll was taken of 2,400 people in the community.
Half of those residents took part, with over 70% in favor of arming teachers.
I think that as in the community at large, there has been a rather vocal minority that is scared of this and is opposed to this policy, but I don't think they represent the majority here. I think kids in this community, growing up in this culture, I mean, most kids aren't really scared of guns. They've seen firearms before. Their parents and their family and their friends are responsible gun owners.
So far, the only other Wyoming school district to agree to arm some teachers is Evanston, Wyoming, which approved its policy last year.
Montanans will need a real ID to board an airplane in about 2.5 years. And to help state residents prepare for the change, the state is kicking off a new campaign to educate people about real ID. The Montana Motor Vehicle Division's ad campaign features famous American explorers Lewis and Clark. MSUB students came up with the idea as a way to spread the word about real IDs and to drive home the point that real IDs will be available in Montana by next January, and those new IDs will be required by October of 2020.
We want people really to know the dates so that they are not having their travel plans impacted. We also want people to know that they have a choice, as well as knowing what documents to come. Even Lewis and Clark need a real ID. Make it a little technology friendly and add some humor. So we're really excited to see this campaign that we've been working on for the last year come to fruition.
We're told the new campaign will start running this coming October. You can find more information about real IDs on the DMV's website.
Investigators say an engine crack caused a deadly blowout that forced Southwest Airlines Flight 1380 to plummet from the sky Tuesday.
And we've also learned the woman who was nearly sucked out of the plane's broken window died from blunt trauma to the head, neck, and torso. 7 other passengers were injured in the 20 minutes of flight chaos.
A former Montana woman not only lived through the nightmare, she also played a key role in the horrific story.
Holly Mackey was sitting next to the woman who died. Q2's Zoe Zandora spoke with Mackey, a former Miles City woman, and joins us now with her story. Zoe.
That's right, Jay and Jeanelle. I spoke with Holly Mackey over Skype this morning. She was actually the one who tried to hold on to the victim and get her back into the plane. Jennifer Reardon died after she was partially sucked out of a window that was shattered from an engine explosion on the flight from New York to Dallas. Mackey was sitting in row 14 with Reardon. A little girl sat in between. 30 minutes into the flight, when this fasten your seatbelt sign usually turns off, instead the pilot came over the intercom. Moments later, passengers heard a loud boom and oxygen masks dropped from above.
So I had clicked my seatbelt back on, and I was going to get something out of my bag, and then there was a big boom, and we were all very confused for a second, but it was just at the same time that this boom and this cold air and this sucking sound. I mean, we were all just looking around. We didn't know what was going on to see what was going on, and that's when I saw Jennifer, and then of course quickly, you know, I had leaned over and I grabbed onto her belt loops and her waist and wrapped my arm around her waist and tried to pull, and the little girl next to me also tried to pull with me, and we tried to pull her back in, and we couldn't. We weren't strong enough, and all we could do was stay calm, because if we didn't, then there would be even more panic on the plane, and so in that moment we all just made some pretty tough decisions. It was really excellent teamwork between all of them to try to get Jennifer back in and safe, and keep everybody else safe at the same time.
She was also really impressed with how everyone, the passengers helping the victim, the crew, the pilot. Mackey said the pilot was incredible. After she landed the plane, she came back to see the passengers, giving them hugs, thanking them, and how everyone handled the situation. Jay and Jeanelle, back to you.
All right, thanks, Zoe.
And Zoe tells us this fatality is the first death on a domestic U.S. airline flight since 2009.
President Trump said the director of the CIA and North Korea leader Kim Jong-un got along well during a secret meeting last month. CBS News correspondent Mola Lenghi has more from Capitol Hill.
President Trump says he'll take a hard line in his meeting with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, which is set to take place in the coming weeks.
If I think that it's a meeting that is not going to be fruitful, we're not going to go. If the meeting, when I'm there, is not fruitful, I will respectfully leave the meeting.
The president spoke during a news conference with the Prime Minister of Japan, Shinzo Abe, after 2 days of meetings at his Mar-a-Lago estate in Palm Beach, Florida. Both said the U.S. and Japan are working together to intensify trade talks and are united in the effort to denuclearize North Korea.
Our campaign of maximum pressure will continue until North Korea denuclearizes.
President Trump also said there's been good dialogue with North Korea to free 3 Americans being held there, and he pledged to fight for the freedom of abducted Japanese citizens. Earlier Wednesday, the president praised CIA Director Mike Pompeo's secret trip to North Korea over Easter weekend. Pompeo is Mr. Trump's nominee for Secretary of State, but he faces a confirmation battle. Republican Rand Paul has said he would vote against Pompeo, but will meet with him at the president's request.
At this point, it would take a great deal to move me, but out of respect for the president, I'm going to meet with him.
President Trump says he is confident Pompeo will be confirmed. Mola Lenghi, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Switching our attention to the weather, Bob McGuire, this warm weather certainly is nice, but it has a bunch of side effects that are not so nice.
Yeah, of course, we've been talking about it for weeks now. The flooding continues across much of the High Line, and now today, a governor has issued a flooding state of emergency for these 7 counties. As you see them here, they are basically Pend Oreille County. You can see other counties like Toole, and also Blaine Valley, Liberty, and Hill, and Petroleum County all have this declaration state of emergency for flooding, and also the city of Chester, and also the city of Fort Belknap and the Belknap Reservation. Let me show you the reason why. We got some video from that area. You can see the river here. This is just really very wide. A lot of flooding across the High Line, a lot of sandbagging going in, and this is not just in Chester, but all over the north central part of the state tonight because of all the heavy flooding in the last few days. And with warmer temperatures moving in this weekend, we're expected to see more flooding and more snowmelt along the High Line. We'll have your forecast coming up in a few more minutes.
All right, thanks, Bob.
Coming up on tonight's 10 o'clock news, Big Bear Sports is having one final sale. We'll bring you all the details.
And in sports, clubhouse demolition underway out at the Yellowstone Country Club. Scott hits memory lane with head pro Bob Ames.
You're watching MTN News with Jay Cohn. and Jeanelle Slade. Storm Tracker weather with Bob McGuire. And sports with Scott Green. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.